And on that note, you guys can just keep it.
All right, thank you very much, Sona. So it is indeed almost time to start the day here for the DreamHack Astro Open. Our first elimination match. We're either going to be seeing a new South American team go home, or we will end up seeing a North American team go home first up here. CLG have a lot to prove after their unfortunate turn of events yesterday, where they managed to drop their first game in a pretty unconvincing fashion, I guess is the way you'd phrase that one. And then meanwhile, over on the other side of things, Gale Force had a great start. They managed to put up 14 rounds against North, almost upsetting them in a comeback there, just falling a little bit short at the end of the day. So CLG certainly have a lot to come back from if they want to be able to win this series.
As a desk touch upon, Overpass is such a good map for CLG in the sense of the double ops. There's a lot you can do with it, from water pressure to peeking towards monster. And the nice thing about Overpass is this, you can have aggression on the CT side and force the Ts to fight right out of spawn pretty much for map control. They'll have to fight for Fountain, they'll have to fight for Playground. Connector's not always free, depends what the CTs want to do, and if you have these double ops, you can really flex on it and really show the power of your double ops. Granted, that does go when you're assuming that Kusta and Ricky are both going to be here today. I think everyone was absent from the server, as Ades touched upon, so hopefully today they can show up. Kusta can start fragging. As Hayes' tweet said, be the player I know you can be. So hopefully that actually comes into fruition.
Yeah, absolutely, and not only this as well, but it's, I mean, starting off early again here, we have to hope the CLG are awake, first of all.
Yeah.
They're playing the first match of the day. I think Stunna mentioned it as well. It's only, I believe it's like 10 a.m. local time here right now. So as far as gamers are concerned, I know for normal people out there, like, oh, well, I mean, normal people should be awake by this point, but
halfway done their work.
For me, that's just getting the day started right there.
Just had breakfast, which we just got here.
Yeah.
So those are Pisteron stats. 2-0 or strats. Or stats. Jeez.
There you go.
Can't
like we said, it's early. It's early.
It's still early, yeah.
We have that excuse there.
Jeez. My coffee hasn't hit me yet. So we are going to jump to the pistol. Gale Force are 2-1 pistol, CLG 1-1. And we'll be jumping into the BO3, CLG versus Gale Force. Gale Force starting on the T side, while CLG will be starting on the CT. We'll see Kusta pick up that smoke in a kit. We've seen how deadly that's been. In the previous match, they actually got a smoke diffuse. So we could see that come into play. But Gale Force looking to shut it out on their first map and their map pick as well.
All right, well, in we go on Overpass to start off the day. Gale Force will be jumping onto the T side. CLG will be on the CT side, and Gale Force starts it off with just a straight push into the B bomb site. CLG actually don't have a lot of defense set up in this site. They tried to stack over towards A, and the problem is they had to hold most of their players back by CT entry and Heaven as a result of that, so they couldn't really stop this. Gale Force just waltz right in and get a free plant.
Post plant, so he's still 5 alive as Kusta from Heaven will ring out as FNS is going to start the push in.
Oh,
but look at this, it's all CLG. Johnny Boy is going to do his best with the help of Marky. It's a 2v5 turn 2v3 all of a sudden. As Marky's going to jiggle for Monster, he's all alone, somehow still alive as Johnny Boy is here with him. They're going to swing together and these Glocks are getting it done on the smoke, but Marky finds them through it. And Gale Force start the day off hot as they're already getting into it.
And they're going to be able to take control of that nice pistol round. CLG immediately going into the second round force right after that. We can already see CZ armor buys coming out onto the table. 4 to 5 players look like they're going for that. With I think, oh no, actually Ethan buys into it too. So Kusta the only one that's not going to buy, only saving for that one-up on the first gun round. But besides that, it is a full investment here to try and upset and bring this up to a quick 1-1. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the table, well, that's quite a few SMGs. As Gale Force is going to look to stack up the cash here.
Yeah, I love the mixed second buys. Every team has a different way to going about it. The 1-8K on Johnny Boy. He's just going to be that player to stay back, let the SMGs go first, clear connector. And they're nice to have on Overpass, a map that's a lot of aggression early on, especially from CTs. So fighting into water, fighting in connector, just made simpler. Plus, you can farm up some cash with these SMGs. While CLG, on the other hand, Kusta would just go for that P250, just trying to save for the op. And Johnny Boy will already find the opening frag. No one else is home from CLG, as they went for a bit more of a bathroom stack.
Tudahen is going to be trying to take up a long-range battle here with the ump. Gets a decent amount of damage done to Ricky. There's a second player that's going to look to try and contest that, though, and after he spots that player, it's time to fall back. He'll let CLG maintain control of the connector for the time being, as his team has already taken full control of the B-bomb site. No reason to really stick around and risk his life here. They're looking for maximum cash stack up right now. It's not worth it to throw his life away against a couple of CZs there and give for maybe, you know, the possibility of trading out 1-2 kills, especially on a round like this.
CLG would love to get a couple weapons, perhaps, but not wanting, as you said, to farm. Like, give money over to these SMGs. Judy is just going to play with the idea of trying to push up in towards connector. Same with Tudahen, he is just going to hold outside of his spawn. He's aware enough that someone could be close, and he is going to check his corners, but he will get shut down. The Seed's just too strong right now. As Cutler going to be able to open it up, find a frag. He'll carry that UMP into the next round, so it's a bit more than what they would normally have. Plus, they save 3 sets of armor. This could be a round where we saw yesterday, where we saw Immortals and it was C9 both invest onto these third round kind of buys. CLG are in a spot where they could go ahead and do this, but just a UMP, you might as well just go ahead and just drop some pistols over to Ethan and Kusta, who died, and move on from there. So I think that is going to be the case.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty light bought here for CLG, as we would come to expect on that third round. So Gale Force, we expect them to walk through this one and get a clean 3-0. We'll have to wait and see. CLG obviously going for a little bit of a gamble stack this time, as they decided to put all 5 of their players onto the B-bomb site. So it's kind of up to Gale Force here to scout this out, figure out what's going on. And if they can dodge the 5-man stack, obviously they'll just walk themselves into an easy third round.
CLG this time going for a B stack. They're going to go for a little late round aggression here up towards short. They have a flash come in from heaven, the push in towards water. They will find no one from Gale Force. Marky just playing very passive. So is the rest of his team, actually. Just now getting outside of playground. One player holding very passively in connector. Even the bomb in a very safe place. So CLG, after pushing into water, realize no one's home. They are all rotating over towards the A site, all 5 players. So this is huge for CLG right now.
Yeah, it's a great read to call for this rotate right now. So they're going to be in a great position. Ethan's even going to be scouting out towards long A right now to try and see if he can catch this big 5-man stack. So it's probably going to spot it. Probably going to die too, but with his close range, there's a pretty good chance he's going to be able to trade out at least 1 or 2 kills in the process. We'll have to see which direction the Gale Force take it, though, as they're boosting over Flower Pot right now. And oh, Ethan swings way too wide there, so he's not going to be able to get a kill, unfortunately. Chudy will take him down, and the rest of the team now pushing back in. Kusta, unfortunately, not going to be a surprise from that corner. Wishoro spots that coming from a mile away. Cutler finally trades on not just 1, but 2 players, taking down Chudy and Wishoro. Finesse finds a third. What's this now? Hold on. Now they've got the man advantage to play off here, too, so they might be able to upset on this round after all. There's Ricky with the 4th, and all that remains is Johnny Boy now, as he's got to pull off a 1v3.
They escaped as well. Johnny Boy pushing down, trying to give chase. Look at this player all the way into water with 10 seconds. Johnny Boy has to commit to this. There's barely no time. There is a player close towards Graffiti. He spots them. What? He's running with his knife and he tried to deny the plan. It's successful. I mean, granted, Ricky running towards the site there, as awkward as it looked, it got the job done. It forced Johnny Boy off the plant. CLG, with the aggression towards water, around 1:20 on the clock, realizing there is no one towards B whatsoever, the immediate rotate towards A, and they just had the numbers and good on Cutler to get as many frags as he did from truck.
I think Ricky was just having a little bit of fun there.
Denied the plant. It works.
Just got him off at the very least. And if he did plant it, would have killed him there. So worth the throwaway of his life, I suppose, at the end of the day. And now we head into what is kind of going to be the first gun around here. Gale Force still have enough to buy into it, but they are going to end up with a couple sacrifices there. 2-10 has to go down to a UMP. Marky on a Galil. For some players, limited utility, but for the other 4, they have a pretty decent stack, so I think that's a huge degree that's been limiting them. Meanwhile, CLG obviously builds themselves up quite well off of that one. Kusta immediately gets the up buy. He's got armor and utility sitting behind it and everything, so they have a pretty big advantage to play off of all of a sudden, and that comes off of a round where they had a 1-up and a couple pistol buys.
Kusta is currently holding towards water with the up. We'll see if Gale Force end up walking into that again. Just very slow at the beginning of the rounds from Gale Force. CLG not wanting to apply pressure early into this first rifle. As we'll see Chudy and Co. slowly but surely work up towards bathrooms, while Ricky will be playing towards Sign. It's a risky angle to play, but it's good that Cutler is holding his long. It means Ricky can shoulder peek long, let Cutler know there's someone coming, and he can focus on bathrooms. As the flash comes over, Cutler won't spot anyone behind the rock and just in bathrooms, as Cutler may get caught trying to fall back here. Flash over, Gashuro will catch him just as Cutler turns his back. It's on Ricky to find the refrag, but Gashuro just locking it down, finding these hot entries as a smoke and a molly will go raining in. And this is the A site almost completely given up, but there is a little resistance, but Gale Force just throw him to the side.
Quick revenge claimed by Gale Force there after a round was stolen out of their hands by CLG. They don't leave any room for error that time around. Some beautiful entries from Wishoro. He does end up being brought down very low as a result of the player that was playing towards semi on the site, but they even handled that just a couple seconds later. Now that's left alive as Kusta is going to be trying to escape, but oh, hello, it's 2-10, waiting right outside of Monster Fordham. The missed shot from Kusta will seal his fate. Wipe the board clean from CLG and force them on a reset here too, as they're just going to be on upgraded pistols, it seems.
Really hate to see the timing there, just as Cutler falls back as well, and the second he turns his back to look towards bathrooms, he gets caught. And already CLG going to be back down to just these Zeds, 1-7 armor and FNS. Meanwhile, Gale Force, this is the start they need, right? This is their map, they picked it, they're feeling comfortable on it clearly. And as Zedes mentioned, if they pick up one of these first 2 maps, whether it be Overpass or the following, Gale Force are in a good spot to at least bring this to a comfortable and close match for themselves. So we'll see. As the op still out in the hands of Johnny Boy, Gashuro again going to be the lead man working his way in towards the B site. Molly's galore towards barrels and back pit as Cutler will get spotted, not neutralized yet towards the heavens. As CLG try to hold on with pistols.
Yeah, Ushura and the rest of them now leading the charge, but there's a few players from CLG still hiding in the wings. Specifically, you've got Ethan down in the pit. He's not going to try to sneak forward, get himself inside of the smoke, and there's one. Denies the first attempt at a plant by taking down 2 to Hen. They know where he is now. They know he's hiding out by Toxic, but these smokes are making it very, very hard for Gale Force to work further into the site and try and take down these players from CLG. But there's the first strike. Chudy is going to be able to knock out Finesse.
Ethan wants to swing on this again, but he is just waiting for the sound cues. Anyone coming too close, that Molly will just land on site. He even spread over the lip, but no, there's a smoke thrown in it, so Ethan can just sit in this. He's going to swing. Good damage dealt. As Gale Force just wait the clock down. They know the peaks will come in eventually, but still, back and forth we go as it's just Ricky. Sees that in hand, taking some bullets towards his general direction, as he will get executed from behind. And there you have it, Gale Force. It was expensive, but they clean it up. CLG not getting the job done with the pistols there, but definitely a nail-biter.
Yeah, I mean, Gale Force, again, this is another round, but they really should have won it in a much cleaner fashion.
Yeah.
It's not just this round, but it's the round that CLG stole from them back on round 3. This is the second time in a row now where CLG have a very minimalist buy, and they're still able to do a lot with it.
You mentioned those smokes. Those are all Gale Force smokes as well. Yeah. They threw the mollies, then went for kind of like a half circle of smokes. But against pistols, it's just a lot for the pistols to work around. It's easier for the pistols to fight around smokes in comparison to those AKs. So a little perhaps miscalculation as it ended up being pricey for them.
They played themselves.
Yeah,
one might
played
say.
yourself.
Well, for Gale Force, it's going to be a much slower round this time, as I think they're unsure as to where exactly CLG are sitting economically at this point. Jeez. Playing in much, much slower. CLG obviously still in a pretty poor spot overall, as they're going to end up with 3 CZs and 2 default pistols. Ricky buying into the one Zeus over there. But that's going to be it. Gale Force still have a pretty big advantage besides that. Like I said, just playing it nice and slow. We're really going to see if they can catch anyone from CLG being over-aggressive, and if not, going for a pretty straightforward execute. There's no reason to do anything advanced, tactically speaking, on this round.
Yeah, they know exactly the situation CLG are in. They know some armor and pistols is more than likely, if not just USPs. So just playing it very safe. Again, Marky will be the first man to push up here towards Monster, line up one of his smokes. Psych smoke is, he's going to toss that one over. Molly towards barrels. Now he'll slowly work out with the flash. Now, Ricky did move out, otherwise he would have been Zeus by now, as Marky doesn't actually clear that right corner. But the site will be evacuated, except for the player in short. So we'll see how aware Marky's going to be here. He hasn't called for the bomb yet, as he finds Cutler, 2 players peeking from heaven, and all of a sudden CLG coming on top with a 1-man advantage.
And once again, they get thrown into the fire here. Gale Force is going to have to work from behind on another eco round from CLG. A good shot from Johnny Boy. He's going to have to sit here and wait, though. There's a second player on the way, and he gets it. Down's going to go Ricky, and Gale Force have back their control now. The plant goes down too. While Ethan does have that 1 AK to play off of here, Kusta's going to find himself in a bad spot as Wushoro takes him down. Ethan's there for the trade, but still another 1v2 to win out here for him. And it's in a very, very difficult spot. Ooh, Zetus gets wrecked by Johnny Boy. Nicely shot. He takes him down as he jumps past the dice box.
These guys are hyping up. They're getting into it 5-1 right off the get-go. And you can see now CLG, okay, we're going into these double ops. We got the cash. We saved for it. Hell of a round from Johnny Boy, as you mentioned, catching Ethan jumping on top of the boxes at the end there. We get to see it from his perspective. Just an insane shot as Gale Force are just getting into it. Kusta, Ricky, double ops. We'll see if CLG are now going to settle into this aggression off the get-go. We've seen a little bit towards long, but Bathrooms pretty much has been free for Gale Force. No connector pressure yet. And Gale Force is content to play the same default. They send Marky towards Monster, 1 player in connector, and 3 slowly take party / fountain. So very safe from Gale Force. Nothing risky. But on the flip side of the coin, it's on to CLG now to kind of change the pace.
Wow, Gale Force taking it slow once again here. Has been basically their pace for most of this half, especially after the damage that CLG has been able to do on some of these eco rounds here. They're just going to be spreading out around the map, for the most part positioning themselves on the B bomb site pretty aggressively too. 3 guys out towards like tracks, and then the 2 pushed out from A a little bit on short A, but they're falling back now to the sites. And it's looking like Gale Force is going to start to move in to take some control towards short.
Chudy's going through the smoke. Now right clicks it, he'll go in. A little lost in the smoke, so they will finally find the way out. They will get Bathrooms control. There is 1 player from CLG playing Sign and 1 mid-site. Kusta is playing Sign, but they are posted towards long Bathrooms. AK lane, as he's looking for the opening pick. Now he does have a smoke blooming towards his right. That gives full long A control to Gale Force if they so wish. And it looks like they are going to follow us up with some smoke, so we could see a commitment here, but they really don't have to. Actually, with 20 seconds, they almost do, don't they?
Well, Kusta now going to be trying to see if he can spot anything moving through the smoke. He's got his crosshair trained on a player right now. Just can't see it through the smoke. Finally, the smoke starts to fade, though, and he takes the shot. Knocks out the Opper from Gale Force. Some great damage done by Cutler, too, but the smoke wall is enough for Gale Force to set up a plant. Shooty gets aggressive, though, jumping past the semi-smoke. But he's only able to get a 1-for-1 trade, and that's not good considering how the rest of Gale Force is faring currently. Marky down at 2 HP, and only 2 other players alive besides that. CLG now going to move in, starting to go for this retake, and their first target might end up being Marky around the corner here. He goes down, so does Tudehen, and now it's just Wishorta left alive with a 1v4. No way he's going to be able to survive that. CLG will get the defuse and win their first gun round here.
Yeah, clean retake from CLG, very safe on the rotations as well. They didn't over-rotate. They didn't feel pressure to push through these smokes, allow the plant to go down, and good on Kusta to stay alive there, more importantly, towards the A site. He was playing sign with the op, realized, all right, I got to fall back, wait for my teammates. That smoke towards long makes it difficult for me. He just falls back, works with his teammates on the retake. Double ops as well, get the job done. Moving into round number 8. Gale Force still have a little bit of a bank behind them, so a comfortable buy coming in here. CLG, of course, still carrying those double ops forward, and here's the aggression from CLG I mentioned. This time, with Gale Force doing a safe default, we'll see if CLG's aggression may catch them off guard.
It's going to be a much slower push again. Same thing as previous rounds from Gale Force here. Not trying to take too much aggressive control early on, kind of just sitting back and waiting. The odd thing about this, though, is they're sitting back and waiting, looking for like aggressive pressure from CLG, but CLG hasn't really done any of that for the most part. They've pretty much just been playing super passive on CT side, maybe kind of pushing out into bathroom zone towards A, but that's been it. It's not like they've tried anything crazy like taking water control or anything like that. So I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen something at least a tad more aggressive from Gale Force, even like moving out to take like long control or something like that.
Now everyone can see it. FNS has been doing this for about 20 seconds. He's been just jump jiggle peeking it, using the ramp to his advantage. Trying to clear as much as monster as he can. He hasn't spotted anyone yet. Gale Force like to run the clock down. Marky's going to swing now. The sound cues prompt him to just go ahead and take the swing. As Ricky is going to be playing towards Monster Pillar. Gets a smoke out. We'll see Gale Force commit to this, I imagine, as Gushiro's the first to fall. Ricky holding it from the pillar. As FNS will swing, and he finds 2 of his own, and CLG looking promising into this round as Johnny Boy. Last one up, he may hit the no-scope. But it's a tall order against 4 CLG members in only 25 seconds to kill them all or plant the bomb, and he's out.
Yeah, he's just going to run away from this one. There's no hope at all. 1v4, basically 0 intel about what's sitting in the bomb site, or water for that matter. He'll sit back, maybe he can get a kill or 2. But that'll be it. It's going to be another round for CLG as they continue to inch closer and closer to closing the gap here. 5-3 will be our scoreline. Johnny Boy should be safe, though. I don't believe they're going to be able to get close enough to try and drop the up.
They should be able to hold on. And with a little bit of bank that Gale Force did have, I mean, with 4,100 left on Shooty, you're up 5-3 in round 9. I think it's going to be a half investment. Then again, Johnny Boy is only at $350. And with only getting $1,900 from the round loss here, it's a tricky situation right now for Gale Force, so it's a good time for a pause, right? You start to see some things slipping, you lose 2 rounds in a row, you'll have an op saved on the board. Let's talk things through. CLG starting to learn what you're up to. They know you're playing a very passive default, so now CLG almost feel pressured not to go for this early aggression. It's still in the cards that they can go for it. We've seen them go for some early peeks towards Monster, a little aggression towards Long A, and a little bit playing towards Water. But other than that, there's still a lot CLG can go into. So Gale Force, after getting shut down twice in a row, may just go back to the drawing board. Maybe we'll see a new default from them, or right off the get-go an execution, which they haven't done yet.
Very vocal from what I believe was Johnny Boy on the side of Gale Force there. You can see that he was almost angry about something. Again, I don't know the players' faces too well, so I don't know for sure if that was Johnny Boy. I'm just kind of going off of my small memory of what we've seen so far. But whoever's in the middle there, certainly getting quite animated in that pause. Well, Cutler does spot this quick push, and there we go. This is what I like to see from Gale Force. It's unfortunate that it's happening on an eco round like this, but still it works. Look, they catch CLG with their pants down to a certain degree. They're all caught on long right now, so if they can trap them out, they might still be able to win this, but they're not paying attention to long at all. Kusta just goes in, gets the free kill. Cutler's able to line up one on his own, but Kusta, with that miss, they push back in. What? Shooty as well stops firing. I guess he ran out of ammo or something like that. So Kusta is going to be given time to recover, take him down. No plant to be seen, but Johnny Boy now left alone, set against the 1v4. He'll get the 1 kill, but a lot more work is needed to be done here. And the bomb is also down over towards A long.
He must feel a little relieved, though, knowing that he actually has time. Normally, they wait the clock down, so having had over a minute to work with gives him time to reposition. Kusta is going to be posted on this peak. Johnny Boy trying to jump spot it. Now he is posted on it, so Kusta, just as he changes to bathrooms, it comes down to really timing here. As that flash comes over, Kusta won't spot it. Johnny Boy is crossed to the left. And the bomb is down just out of his reach. Just really waiting for anyone from CLG to make the first move. And as soon as he gets this down in a 1v2, you'll see him just really start to move and groove. And there you have it. Kusta did move over to that right side of the wall, finds that frag. So CLG, string 3 together. Gale Force will get a buy here. Could be, won't be Opolis, I don't believe. Could be, there's a chance. As Johnny Boy is kind of broke, so I think it is just going to be AKs in the 1CZ, so no one's going to be risky enough to just pick up the op themselves. So 5-4, 1 round until CLG ties us back up. And then since CLG got these double ops out, it's kind of been on lockdown now.
Well, one of the big questions here going into this matchup was whether Kusta was going to show up to the table after a slower performance yesterday, and it certainly seems like so far he's doing that. And starting it off again, oh, Marky, where's oh my goodness, Marky. I was trying to figure out where he took that shot from. I was wondering if he was outside in water, but it looks like he was, so nicely shot by him. And it's after he gets dinked as well, so great reaction to take down Cutler right after he gets that first kill.
2-10 and Johnny Boy slowly working down connector. We'll see CLG just fall back. As soon as that 1-for-1 trade in connector happens, immediately CLG will just shift back. 2 on A. Or 1 on A, 3B. FNS will boost a player. As we'll see Ethan slowly push up towards short. And Gale Force taking their time. A 1-for-1 right off the get-go is good for the T side. As Ricky's just going to try to anchor down the A site the best he can, the sign position. As risky as it is, it's such a strong spot, hard to clear. But look at the utility Gale Force still have. They still have 3 smokes, 1 molly, and a nade, even a flash to help them get out to the site. And as 40 seconds click by, and Gale Force, I feel like once Gale Force get bathrooms control, every time they've had bathrooms control, they almost commit to the A site.
Well, Ricky's going to be back here now, spawning. He does see the jump up on top of Flower Pot there, but the shot just barely misses. It was looking like he was getting ready to pop off Pop Flash too, but on a repeat finds 2-10, sees the others pushing closer on A long now. Flash assistance comes in, so now he can swing towards bathrooms, has more of an angle to play off of. And with the help of Finesse, is able to completely shut down that hit. Beautifully played by CLG. Now they have a tie.
Lovely quick rotations, and that's what's so nice about doing that double stack just outside of double doors on B by Graffiti. It allows for some nice quick rotations, and as soon as Ricky realizes he's in trouble, he calls for these rotations. He's just going to keep swinging, knowing help's on the way. A flash comes over from FNS on his way over, and it's just a nice simple hold with some nice support from CLG. So 5 apiece now. Gale Force, it's been a while since we haven't seen them with at least 1 rifle saved. It is just pistols. So CLG starting to get on the horse on their CT side.
And Gale Force getting ready to swing themselves up through connector again to try and take quick short control. That is going to cause a divide amongst the CT players, but again, not paying attention towards Party, so Cutler is allowed to go off. 2 free kills for him, but he does eventually get traded back out by 2-10. Taking him out of the mix, leaving 3 remaining for Gale Force, but still 4 for CLG. And Gale Force, we should mention as well, is on an eco here again, about a half buy with a PT50 and CZ purchases for all 3 of their players. Obviously 2-10. Or actually, nope, it's getting tossed all over the place. It's short out now with the M4. Originally 2-10 had it, but it looks like he just tossed it over to a teammate.
Wouldn't count Gale Force out here. There's head armor out on Gashuro. Granted, it's only in 2 ops and 2 AKs, so it doesn't really matter in this situation. As Ricky is just going to be sitting towards heaven, very safe from CLG with Ethan holding a side angle from Graffiti. 2-10 will flash them into water here. Going to try to gain water control with 43 seconds on the clock. This is all they have is water, so they're pretty much going to commit to this unless they want to go up connector. No, they're going to swing, and with Ricky missing that shot, this should be a bomb plant, especially considering where Ethan's playing, and he will catch Marky trying to get a little aggressive towards water. As Ricky going to try to hold the sight cross as FNS, yeah, he's quick to rotate. Down connector, he'll go up short. No bomb plant for Gale Force. 2-10 will do his best to find some frags, but only 1. And CLG will take the lead.
And there we go. Good start for Gale Force, but they've slowly lost momentum over the course of this half, and now the dynamic has shifted. It's CLG in control of things with a 6-5 lead. Great economy buildup coming in for most of their players too. Cutler tending to play a little bit more aggressive. We see him at a lower amount because he's often dying a little bit more. But other than that, over on the Gale Force side of things, they're looking much rougher, as we can see there. Quite a few of their players struggling to even pick up the kills in the last couple of rounds here.
I like this from CLG. We've seen this once before from Cutler. when Gale Force were on just pistols. And Ricky will hold his long. He's even going to repeat, I think, just to help Cutler get out of here if he really wishes. And yeah, there's the repeat. Just narrowly misses that shot, but it's a cue for Cutler to go. And Johnny Boy is just so quick on it. Shooting may go to 2 HP, but not bad trades, as there you have it. It's so nice when you go for these pinches towards long and bathrooms. You catch that player. You catch the aggression as they're trying to fall back into sight. Now, there is one player, that's Ethan Quick, to rotate towards Truck with an army marching in front of them. And a wind behind their sails. It's Marky to find the entry, and Gale Force will go now. FNS pretty much told he has to make a play here through the smoke as soon as he hears the bomb go down. He will catch one player on site jumping. That's bomb down. So he's looking for some more here.
Kusta with that second pickup, and they're bringing it back all of a sudden as Kusta finds another one here. All of a sudden, this went from a great round for Gale Force to a terrible one. They don't even have the bomb down just yet. It's just Chudy left alive here now in a 1v2. Finesse and Kusta splitting themselves up, but I believe one is going to lurk around to look for a flank here in a second as well. And there you go, Kusta swings out to take down that last player alive, giving CLG their 7th. Great recovery in what was otherwise starting off to look like a pretty messy round for CLG.
Yeah, it's getting really messy there, but CLG, they've had just lovely rotations. Their rotators are finding frags, playing around the smokes than utility like Gale Force use. And this is just lovely play from Kusta just going to town right now. So we'll see if CLG are going to continue to snowball this. Gale Force do have AKs out, a Galil out in Goshuro, and even CLG getting punished for that aggression towards bathrooms and long. But it's just been the stable rotations from CLG that just has these sites and retakes right now going their way as Kusta is looking for something, some kind of opener. It's the can opener right now towards Monster, trying to open this up. Well, Finesse gonna try to hold short. He knows he has to. He has a teammate there with him. Somehow he gets a frag in that situation. And Kusta finds one of his own. So 2 for 1 right off the get-go for CLG. Not so bad with the double op still out in full force.
Chudy's still tying a lurk forward here as well. He's gonna group up with the rest of his teammates, but they're really trying to keep the actual take a little bit quiet here. Kusta jumping up behind the half wall as well to watch for this. They don't even keep an active presence in the site, even though they've only lost 1 player. They're keeping it very passive right now in the event that Gale Force goes for the quick switch on their tick again. And that is exactly what it looks like is happening. All 3 of them heading up through connector right now, over to short. And I believe an A push is going to be showing up here in the next 10 seconds or so.
Really impressed with how Ethan traded his life 1 for 1 there. Full blind on short, still gets a frag. If he doesn't there, FNS is in trouble, doesn't have time to throw his utility, he'll get doubles peaked. And that's the B side given up. So you see Ricky again just with the op playing very safe. He's the first contact. Cutler will be playing from truck. Just gonna wait for the bomb. They'll allow them to have front sight. Then as soon as they come back, just past the boxes, it's all in Cutler and Ricky to mow them down. And all in all, not so bad as it will just leave Tutahen and not for much longer as Ricky finds it. CLG. Some would say they have a Gale Force win behind them now.
Yeah. You could definitely say that. Like I said, economy build-up's going great for them. Still a couple slip-ups happening every few rounds or so, but for the most part, taking a much better amount of control. And for Gale Force, unfortunately, again, the same problems as before, really just not being aggressive enough here, not punishing the positions from CLG. So CLG is able to take a much stronger amount of control here, and Gale Force just hasn't been able to figure out what they're doing wrong yet, it seems.
Kusta just going to be holding towards Party. Gale Force going to go on a little bit of a run. It's a team jog with pistols. I imagine that smoke from Johnny Boy will be used in mid-sight. A plant would be ideal here. They do have max loss, but it's still always nice to get that extra $800. Really solidifies that full utility as Kusta back towards his signed position. Hoppers are deadly, and this is just going to hold towards flower pots, jiggle towards bathrooms, and there's that smoke actually. So it's the one they've used previously that shuts down this long lane as Kusta just narrowly misses it. So that allows Gale Force to push up onto that smoke, and as soon as it dissipates, push through, or even push before it starts to dissipate. So it's really up to Gale Force. And with just pistols, I think brute force is their play.
They don't have any utilities sitting behind this, though, and as they move in, it's going to be a little bit messy. They do get that first entry kill, but then a team kill afterwards, followed by 3 additional pickups for CLG. The 5th and final kill rolls in now. And there you go. Pretty much the expected result when you're going to push through smokes with no flashes or anything to help you out there.
Yeah, you think someone on the team would have picked up just at least one $200 flash, especially with max loss. Losing a flash here is not the biggest of deals. 1 flash over, you could have had Cutler full blind, maybe force Kusta off for a few seconds, as he was the opper in towards the bank. So maybe 1 flash could have worked magic there, maybe allowed that bomb plant instead. We still stand with CLG, swinging out the double ops, and this time Ricky, first time we've seen a peek here towards the fountain side, as Gale Force a little antsy, as it's looking more and more like a quick connector play. They want to explode out towards water here.
Chudy, he's going to be working forward here now as well over to the B bomb site. Along with the rest of his team. They're going to try to go for a pinch this time. It is another full gun round here for Gale Force. No op to be seen, granted, but Utility's rolling into that B site very, very quickly as they get ready to go for the execute here. Where's the follow-up, though? They throw them this Utility, but the problem is CLG still so many smokes and everything else set up here. They're not going to be able to easily push through that. Finesse rips through the first player, overexposes himself, though, and leaves himself open for a trade. Now Ethan is going to be available to take great position forward here. Kusta and Cutler get those final few kills, and there you have it. CLG taking control once again, 10-5 as we close out the first half.
Man, CLG turned that around really quick, winning 9 in a row at the end there. Gale Force just fell flat once CLG had a good read on their defaults. Once the double ops came out, they're able to find the picks. Nice play from Ricky and Kusta to really play around those site pillars. We saw the sign played a lot. We saw Monster Pillar and B site get used quite a bit. And it's just CLG using their utility. They know how passive Gale Force are playing in their default, that they didn't feel pressure to use utility right off the get-go. A lot of teams like playing aggressive on Overpass and fighting for map control right off the get-go towards Water, Monster, firing a lot of shots to bait out that CT utility. And once Gale Force just played slow, CLG learned, just picked up on that and didn't throw their smokes right off the get-go. They saved their mollies for executions. So you saw in that final round where CLG just threw their mollies behind the smokes. Gale Force couldn't execute on the back of all their flashes and mollies, and by the time they did go, they had no flashes to go into the execution. So CLG really tightened up the ship there and fixed the leaks into that CT side. Yeah,
and they do it very quickly as well, starting it off with that third round upset and then following it through from there. So now it's kind of up to Gale Force to make up for their own mistakes. Hopefully, looking at a much stronger CT side across the board here too, because if not, then CLG is going to be looking to have swift control over map number 1, and that is not how they wanted to start this series off. Especially with a great, pistol round victory and then trading it out afterwards too.
Yeah.
When they were at 3-1, I was actually very worried for CLG, but they managed to recover nicely.
We'll see here with Chudy flash kit. Finesse will have utility. Ricky goes to the Deagle. I love the Deagle and pistol rounds. As Ethan, question is he? Oh, this is a 3-player stack from Gale Force. A bait and switch, but Marky finds the shot, so no reason for the player in Cubby to swing. And you see CLG taking long control of the back of this end bathrooms. We'll see how committed they want to get.
Nice, Ricky.
As Ricky through the corner there, is it going to be able to find Gashiro? Even drops the Deagle for a USP. Shows you the love for the USP, but Johnny Boy in the quick flank. So this could be a nail in the coffin for CLG. We'll see how quick they get to site.
Well, they will start to push up pretty quickly. Kusta spotting that flank as well, so it's not going to be a big surprise anymore that we have Johnny Boy working around the backside. In fact, he gives up on that completely. I'm a little bit curious as to where exactly Johnny Boy is trying to go right now, but regardless, there's a 3-man stack in Bank that's going to try to push back up. Johnny Boy does finally try to re-engage, and he gets the kill too. And it's not just him. Marky moves forward, picks up a frag on Kusta, or excuse me, onto Ricky. So it leaves just Cutler and Finesse alive. They're off the site. It leaves the bomb open for the defusing if they want to try and go for that right now. Finesse is trying to peek into that to stop it, but there's just a huge amount of bodies in the way, so it's not going to be so easy. The kit defusing the bomb, and there we go. Gale Force pull it off. They take a second pistol, so they go 2 for 2 on this first map.
That means they're 4-0 for pistols right now in this tournament. They're just playing really well in the pistol rounds. You can see how they just created this confusion for CLG. The triple stack into connector is so strong on pistol rounds. The bait and switch and the one player holding towards party. CLG tried to counter that by, all right, well, if they're stacking connector, let's just straight up push to A, but Gale Force had nice rotations. They conceded the site, and then they just played off of the back of that. So we'll see the buys now from Gale Force, an MP9. Second time we've seen that this tournament. FMOS, a couple UMPs, and with the lone M4, while CLG, due to getting that bomb plant, very light investment, barely anything per player. I imagine they're going to either A, go for that buy next round, or get a really strong first buy.
So they were given a gift of winning both of those pistols, and now they just have to not mess things up here, lose control right around the first gun round like they kind of did in the last half again, as that is what allowed CLG to take back that control. CLG had to fight from the backside. Still came out ahead, and now Gale Force once again is going to take the advantage here at the start of the half. We'll have to see if they can maintain it here. CLG just taking a nice, slow approach to the A-bomb site. Very little investment here, too, as they are still looking to that potential third round buy. Where the Deagle goes hunting in the open there, trying to see if he can catch anybody in the back of the A-bomb site, but so far not happening. The rest of the team, though, sits at the gates of A, and they will get ready for the charge here over the next couple seconds.
Johnny Boy spotted them. Now they hear them shooting. Look at the MP9 go to work. He's able to get 2. Can't find the third. It is an unarmored opponent, so it's just easy sailing for Gale Force. They'll clean them up. Losing one member, but Chudy made up for it. Those 2 frags, and the MP9 pays for itself. As Gale Force gets a lucky number 7, perhaps the winds are shifting as CLG will get the buy. 4 AKs, 1 Galil. They do have 3 smokes to work with, so very light in the pockets of utility for CLG. We'll see how much they have to expend to fight for map control at the get-go. We've seen Gale Force be relatively aggressive on pistol. Now that it's being first rifle, we'll see if Gale Force is going to continue up on this aggression.
Yeah, and to start things off, it's just a usual 3-2 split from CLG. It looked like initially Gale Force was going to try to push back out towards Fountain and try to play aggressively against this push coming out from top tunnels, but already you see both Johnny Boy and 2 to Hen falling back. Same fate is suffered by CLG though over towards water as they try to push back in, and it's relatively unsuccessful, at least until Ricky attempts to challenge it, where he's able to get a kill, takes down Marky through the smoke at Monster, and gives CLG an early man advantage.
You'll have to start off your rifle round when you get the first pick, and it goes untraded. We'll see where the answer is going to come from Gale Force. The pressure is really on them to try to answer back here. I don't see them pushing anywhere across the map, just very safe 2-and-2 setups. I think right now they're just trying to spot a player from CLG and then just hard rotate to it, or that be towards B or A. And there's that smoke. Like Gale Force used a couple times, it gives just so safe to gain long control when you have that smoke. You never know what the pressure is going to be like. It lets you clear that flower pot corner. We'll have to be worried about sight player. Johnny Boy will give him a reason to be worried a little bit. Some good damage dealt in. That's FNS and Ricky taking some damage, but here comes CLG.
That Finesse moving in there. He's going to be the first one to fall down, however. And Gale Force just cleaning up shop very quickly. One response from Cutler, but other than that, it's all on these CTs here. And Cutler's not going to last very long either. Very well held by Gale Force. And now they sit just 2 rounds away from tying this map up.
They're getting loud, too. They're getting back into it, and when they're hyped and they're getting the momentum going, they can definitely sail through some matches. We'll see if that's going to be the tail of the tape going forward still, as CLG going to have to take just 1 knee here. Just take a little bit of a bow. Cutler will get some armor and a CZ. Other than that, I mean, just upgraded pistols. Ricky does have a pretty dirty deagle, so perhaps we can see that come into play as Gale Force will continue this kind of forward aggression. I think Johnny Boy every single round may just go for this smoke peek. I think he's feeling comfortable. He may need some support as Marky about to have his hands full. M4 sprays a little off, but we'll clean it up in the end. CLG would love to get to sight, but I don't think Gashiro and Marky are going to let them whatsoever.
Yeah, CLG's rushed attempts haven't been going very well in general here so far in this half, and even in the last half too, the more aggressive plays they tried to make on eco runs didn't really go so well. Same as the last round, they get 1 trade, but that's about it, so this is great for the money build-up on the CT side. Going to be challenged a little bit more now, though, as CLG comes back into the buy with 5 AKs and full utility for all 5 of those players. But other than that, they need to be a little bit stronger on their entries here, because right now, every time they attempt to push into the site, they're just getting plowed down by this Gale Force roster.
Well, we don't see an op-out on CLG, which could be a little bit of a downside here. They do go for a buy and get full utility. As we'll see Johnny Boy, again, going for this pick with the op towards Fountain. Gashiro working up towards short. So Gale Force content to go for this early Fountain aggression. As Ethan's slowly going to work up short. So the op's out on Johnny Boy. As I mentioned, nothing for CLG. The pick potential comes down to really their executions through the smoke. Gashiro's not ready for it. Kusta will catch him off guard. Marky's going to have to fall back to Graffiti. Play it very safe, knowing he doesn't have support. Good pick on the Cutler as they cross without any flashes, smokes, or anything. And Marky's even going to be able to repeat this one shortly, as he just has to wait for the molly to just disappear. But that gives time for Gale Force to rotate. Not really rushing. They know they have kits on everyone.
Yeah, Marky forced back at the very least. CLG finally push themselves into their aggression, works out. And they didn't make the mistake of just staying in the site as well. They actually branched out a little bit and still hold water control too, so they're restricting what the CTs can do by quite a large margin. However, that is a 2-sided coin, as now when they start to push back in for the retake here, all the players from the side of CLG are going to be split back up, but that doesn't seem to matter. Kusta, Ethan, and Finesse mop up the retake from Gale Force, and once again secure a round for CLG, just barely allowing them to maintain their lead as they finally pick up the first round here in this half.
Yeah, great play from CLG. A simple sight take as they catch Gashiro off guard, running through the smoke as soon as it blooms. And the nice thing about what CLG did there is they singled out Marky. They had him isolated with the molly. And when you have water control as a T, it makes retaking so much more difficult for the CTs, because they have to fight for water control if they want to go that route, fight for monster. And the T's having that is just cutting off an avenue for the CTs to make a retake. So the retake's very one-sided at that time, and it's easy for CLG, keeping 2 players alive. As Gale Force do have a bank. Comfortable buy once more. Ethan gets the sandbags, and he got here unspotted with very little sound cues. They will bloom the smoke, but I think he's content to sit behind it, wait out these smokes, and we could see CLG just form up into another B execution. I mean, very little resistance previously from Gale Force. CLG may be banking on the same.
Cutler moving in quickly. He's able to go in there, taking down Marquis. A second frag from Cutler too, as he just pushes right in on his own regard, somehow makes it work. Gale Force, this is a pretty big mistake for them all of a sudden. It seems like it's just like the last half all over again. A great start, but losing momentum seemingly out of nowhere. Ethan will clean up the last defender on that site, and that's pretty much it for Johnny Boy and Tunahan. Johnny Boy can maybe sit here at CT, hope to pick up a kill or two, but that's going to be it. Besides that, they're saving, and CLG is going to be able to push up to a 12th round.
See how far these boys in CLG want to hunt. Ricky's already all the way into T spawn. They spot the op of Johnny Boy. They can afford to drop a couple of these AKs in the hunt and the pursuit to try to drop Johnny Boy. You can see Ricky slowly working his way up. FNS will hold water control, so they're not going to be able to get in through that avenue. And it looks like Johnny Boy and Tutuhen are just going to group up here towards long. And Ricky is on the move. I don't think he'll get there in time. So Gale Force should be able to hold on to the op and Johnny Boy, and the M4 and Tutuhen both have kits. Nade and a flash saved. Going into this next one, CLG on 12. Gale Force is going to have to take a save around this. We could see an aggressive play from the op and M4. I imagine they'll be working together while the pistols will set up on towards one of the sites, or vice versa. But Gale Force are going to use their second pause. I think this is a good time for it. Talk things through. They do have a coach. I imagine he'll be pulling out the book and seeing what they can get up to.
I mean, they need to figure out how exactly they keep losing control so quickly here.
Yeah.
It's literally the same exact thing that happened in the last half, where they have a great start. You know, they win the pistol, they win the following rounds. They even you know, the last half they reset CLG. I don't believe they were able to do that this time, but at the very least they win the first gun round, and that's what's important here. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, CLG just come in swinging, and they pick up 2 rounds, seemingly like they've been dominating the whole half themselves, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just been the nice B executions from CLG. Very clean, catching Gale Force off guard. Running through that monster smoke is so hard to deal with, and especially with Gale Force just playing one player towards monster solo. You saw CLG doubling up on it on their CT side. Gale Force just playing that one player there, and CLG are picking up on that and going through the smoke. So we'll see if Johnny Boy and Tutuhen can maybe have some answers here into this round. Johnny Boy's going to try to get aggressive with the molly. We'll send him down to 75. He's on a retreating mission right now to the A site.
Fall back over towards A. Playing a lot more passively now, as is the rest of the Gale Force roster. A 3-2 split overall across the map there, with a heavy emphasis on B. Because they haven't played out aggressively at all, CLG is going to have the freedom of movement to push all the way up A long, and Ethan sneaks through the connector hallways. I believe he'll be the one player that'll be lurking either down towards B or eventually sneaking in late towards long A. The rest of the team, though, already haven't taken that full long A control. Just a matter of time before they begin to prop up and get ready to push into one of the sites, which is more than likely going to be A.
And Johnny Boy is here with the op. Meanwhile, the
Gale Force know what's happening.
Yeah, Tutuhen is rotating.
I think they pushed out towards past Monster, and they were able to spot that there's like no presence towards B, so they're going to gamble on this a little bit. They keep Guishoro downstairs at B. Other than that, the full team is rotated in, so CLG got to be a little bit careful here as they're getting ready to walk into a trap.
And Johnny Boy's posted towards long. He's relying on that M4 Tutuhen to do some work. Instead, he falls. It's just Johnny Boy. Gets the first frag. Knows there's a player in front of him. Can't hit the shot. He's getting pushed and just shut down. And it is just Guishoro with the deagle. Oh, we've seen him make a nuts play with it before. Against North, and maybe again, as he's able to find Ethan. So don't count him out. He's done this before. Could just be rinse and repeat, perhaps. But at CLG, these post plants are so strong. 2 towards long, 1 towards truck. It's a lot to ask for Guishoro.
CLG's just going to split. Oh, there's another one from him now, too. And he's got an AK to play with here, too. Look at how low the 2 remaining players from CLG are. And they're lined up. They're going to try to double peek him. But, oh, no, he gets aim punched right at the end of it. And it kills what could have been an amazing clutch from Guishoro. Discounting Wishoro's own play, though, again, same issue there. Gale Force playing, it seems like just way too passively on the site. We had kind of one guy out in the open there was their opper that was able to pick up 1 or 2 kills. But besides that, everybody sat way back, like behind the smoke line that the T's had set up, like behind Dumpster, behind the steps, inside of Bank. They're not really out trying to fight for the site at all, so they just keep letting CLG walk right in and get the plant. And they give them so much time to set up a post plant as well.
Yeah, these weak buys they get don't help the cause whatsoever. With only having like 3-4 smokes across the board, 1 molly to hold off these pushes, and Marquis on a deagle. I mean, there's not much you can do as a CT on Overpass with very limited utility. It's hard to contest right off the get-go. Turtling in sight is made more difficult because you feel obligated to throw smokes like this early on towards short. And then you have to kind of keep long pressure, and it's easy to jiggle peek long, but it's nice to have that flash support. But if they're used early, you don't have that. As we can see, Ethan again towards short. He's kind of been a nuisance there for Gale Force as he just pushes up short, gets into sandbags, and CLG may just go back to the bread and butter of B execution.
Now as they move back in, Marky with a good hold initially here, but Uishuro, he is going to be able to pick up 1 and now 2 for himself before he gets traded out by Ricky. Cutler finding that initial kill too, but it's not going to mean much as now it's down to just Finesse. Puts himself into that 1v2, but he's stuck behind the smoke wall. Trying to play this out, trying to see if he can keep himself alive here. He's going to lurk through Monster and see if he can flank around these 2 remaining CTs. They are playing together, so if he moves quickly enough, then he should be able to get up to the site. Maybe, just maybe shut them down. They're paying attention to it though, but he lines the first one in. Ooh! As FNS pulls off a great clutch, and that's going to continue to push CLG forward, now up to 14 rounds.
FNS took his time on that one. And you think the more time that ticks by, Gale Force may get paranoid of that, but FNS played it so well to work all the way around. He's finding entries and finds the last 2 sleeping towards short, and we'll put them to sleep for the next round as Gale Force, the Deagle farm board across every player. Gashiro is the only one to get armor behind it. 2 flashes out from Johnny Boy, but we'll see what the Deagles can do. We know what deadly Gashiro is. Is Kusta moving for that one?
I would have thought for sure Tudahan would have had that kill, but nope. Kusta's a little bit quicker on the draw with the up. And Gale Force down with not a whole lot to work with here, and especially already losing 1 player this early on with not even a single point of damage to trade that off. That's certainly not going to be a good luck here for these CTs. They want to have any hope of bringing this back.
Yeah, Tudahan's not having the best start to this game, 9-17. Kind of one of the key players. I say like the core roster of Gale Force is Tudahan, Gashiro, and Johnny Boy. And speaking of 2 of them, they both fall. CLG about to pick up 15. And it's interesting to note that Gale Force don't force here. They're willing to give up that 15 in the first map on their pick. So they're feeling comfortable, well, at least as comfortable as they can be when they get rifles out in the next round.
Marky sitting back over here behind the dice box as well. Finesse just able to plow through him, however. And right after that one, we see Chudy, the last man alive for Gale Force, going down. CLG push forward, now up on map point here in map number 1 of this best-of-3 series.
Well, here's a double ops out from the Gale Force. We saw that work for CLG quite well once they got it on their CT side. They were able to shut down and find the opening picks against Gale Force, who were playing very passive and push back, so it allows CLG to take these long-range duels, find the picks, and make the site holds that much easier. Which perhaps that may be the case here from Gale Force. We'll see how CLG decide to go into this one as Gashiro taking the monster peek, and no, Kusta's posted on it. Kusta's here to play today as he gets the opener. Chudy is spotted, and it's about to get rough for him.
Yeah, moving back in, Cutler is able to pick up that first kill, going back in. A second one also being found. They know there's a player in the pit and flashing about. Cutler pushes in, rips him to shreds. It's all on Johnny Boy in a 1v5, but not a whole lot that he can do, and even the op shot that connects is only a leg as well. He'll eventually go down as a long-range shot from Kusta is going to close it out. Much, much better from CLG there today compared to their performance yesterday, where they really seemed to drop the ball. But here against Gale Force in map number 1, they crush it and take control 16-9 at the end of the first map.
Yeah, Gale Force even win both pistols there, so only get 9 rounds on the board after winning both pistols. Something's going wrong in those rifle rounds. There's some issue, whether it be their default or just getting open picked on. It's rough for them right now. CLG really brought that back. Once the double ops came out on the CT side, they were able to control the pace. Ricky was hitting some nice shots. Kusta was a good anchor. And more importantly, CLG had the rotations on point. They knew when to push towards the opposite site to gain some info and then just rotate accordingly. CLG did just a very textbook job there. And Gale Force is going to have to go to the drawing board. But again, this being a first line as a unit, it's a lot to learn and a lot of experience gained by doing this. So I'm excited to see what Gale Force may be able to learn and grow. But it's not over yet. It's a BO3, so we're going to be heading to CLG's pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that just makes things look even greater for CLG as well. It's not even just the gun rounds. Well, you mentioned the gun rounds, but even simple things, right? Like on that third round, the third round of the first half, where CLG is able to upset there with just one ump and a couple pistols. Yeah. I think like 1 or 2 players that armor behind it as well. That shouldn't be happening there. It's a round that you should be able to walk through easily. So a lot of mistakes like that, and that happens multiple times throughout the course of that half. So the guys on Gale Force really need to kind of clean things up a bit if they want to have a good chance to take this second map and take it over to a map 3 to potentially win this series. But folks, we're going to be right back with that second map. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with map number 2 right after this break.